Okay.
So I was actually just telling the team, so you're talking to our top leaders in our downline right now.
Okay.
And I was just kind of filling them in on what you did for me. And obviously we can't do that today and do that for each individual, but I just think that this is such a focal year for our team on maximizing the comp plan, creating that volume culture within their downlines, and just feeling confident in the business that they're building. So any insight you can provide to us in that realm would be awesome. And, feel free to take it in whatever direction you think is best for that. And I'm recording it because a lot of our leaders are either working or with the kids or whatever. So we'll be sending this out to our leaders who can't be here today.
Cool. Well, I will do my best to kind of get through all of that.
Cool.
How long do you want me to talk?
2, 3, 4 hours is good.
Listen, that's a short day. No, we're good.
We don't have a time limit. So, wherever this goes is great.
We'll be done in the next 30 minutes or so.
Cool.
So what I should do is start at the fundamentals. But if you guys have questions, please, you can type it in the chat thread. I'll see that you have a question, and then I'm just going to call on you because I don't want to read. But anyway, we'll kind of go from there. Guys, let's make sure you understand how coaches make money first. Just to be very clear, the compensation plan at Beachbody is very simple, okay? It's one of the most simple compensation plans, I swear, in all of network marketing. Like, I've worked at other companies, I've consulted network marketing companies, and I can tell you this one is about as simple as it comes. Like, I literally have no notes in front of me, and I'm going to walk you through this. If you want a document that tells you how you get paid, if you Google Beachbody compensation plan highlights document, literally there's a PDF that pops up, and I think it's updated. There is a version out there that's old, but it's pretty accurate because the comp plan hasn't changed for a long time. The way you get paid as a coach, we'll just go through them quickly, and then we'll talk about volume. The way you get paid is, number one, bonuses and commissions, right? Flat out, you sell a challenge pack, you get a commission. That's number one. Number two is you get cycle bonuses. Well, it's a binary structure, which means you have 2 legs. You get, you're in the middle, you got 2 legs when you became a coach. And as you continue to grow, it gets more complicated as you get multiple business centers. And if you have a spouse account and you're working with your husband and he's in there, now all of a sudden you've got volume coming in through, or you got the opportunity to create income with him through his account. So cycle bonuses are important, and we will spend most of the time talking about number 2, which is cycle bonuses. The third way you get paid is through what we call matching bonuses. Very simply, if you're a Ruby, you get 5% of your personally sponsored coach's cycle bonus. If you're a Diamond or higher, you get 10% of your personally sponsored coach's cycle bonuses. So again, why do we spend time with cycle bonus? It's because it affects the cycle and the matching. Okay, and you need to know. I mean, there's coaches in the network who have personally sponsored coaches who make a lot of money. So I mean, if you had a coach that was making $100,000 a year in cycle, you would make $10,000 off of them. That's why the matching bonus can be significant. So if you recruit somebody in that builds a big business, you're going to get 10% of whatever they're getting off of their cycles. That's why the matching is important. The fourth way you get paid is through what we call the Star Diamond leadership pools. Keeping it simple again, essentially we take all the team volume for 90 days, so the volume generated in the entire network, we take 2% of it, we pull it out, and we create a pool. And then we take that 2%, we break it into 4 pools. So now there's 0.5% in 4 different pots. And every 2-star that is a paid 2-star for 6 consecutive weeks during any quarter participates in the 2-star Diamond leadership pool. And we do the same thing for 5 stars, and we do the same thing for 10 stars, and we do the same thing for 15 stars. Okay? The pool is the same amount of money. The reason that the 15 stars get more money and the 2 stars get less money is because there's just fewer 15 stars playing in that pool versus the 2-star pool has a lot more people playing in that pool. Okay? So the pools are awesome. You know, as you rank advance, they come into play, and then they can provide significant, you know, kick, you know, as far as quarterly bonuses as you rank advance within the business. Guys, that's the comp plan. Okay. Let's dive into, so obviously there's complication that comes into that when you bring in rank and volume and some other things. But I want to be clear on one other thing. Beachbody is also unique in the fact that if you go into the P&Ps, the policies and procedures, and you look at the compensation plan, okay, we've got the compensation plan, which I've described to you, and then there's more detail that goes in behind that. Then you've got all these other things that we'll put in what we call the recognition plan. Well, the recognition plan is things like Success Club, Success Starter, Success Club Legends, Success Club All-Stars. You would put the Road to Elite, the Team Leader, Team Builder, Premier Leader, Elite Leader. I mean, all of those things also go into the recognition program. So if you go into the compensation plan and you say, I need to learn about Success Club, you will not find it in the compensation plan. Success Club sits in the recognition plan. Now, the difference between these two, for us as a company, the compensation plan, man, we almost never touch it. We don't change it. It's pretty solid. There's some tweaks that can happen there. But man, every year I can change the elite program. I can make the elite program, you know, let's say that, you know, 2 years ago, the elite program was all about, you know, selling challenge packs, getting your coaches to Success Club, and you hitting Success Club, and then, you know, signing coaches. That was the entire elite program. We needed to bring in leadership development. We needed coaches building personally sponsored Star Diamonds. We needed coaches not spending all their time recruiting, but actually spending more of their time developing leadership within their organizations. You guys are some of the result of that we said to coaches like Elizabeth, man, you know, and you can go sign 20 coaches a month, or you could sign 10 coaches a month and put the rest of that time into your team and develop leadership. And whether you know it or not, coaches will do whatever the company incentivizes as far as recognition and compensation. And so within the elite program, we bought in a way to earn points via leadership development. So the recognition plan is where the company can make tweaks and adjustments to improve the business moving forward. The compensation plan, we still can, but we don't. I mean, it's very solid as to how that's handled. So when we talk about volume, well, now we're back to cycle bonus. Okay. If we look at the business and we say, you know, I want to make more money, the way that okay, we got to be clear. There are coaches in the network that are big retailers. They sell a ton of challenge packs. Well, if you go out and sell 100 challenge packs, you're going to get 100 bonuses or commissions, that number one within the comp plan. In order to build volume within the organization, you're going to be looking more at signing coaches, helping develop leadership within your organizations, and really duplication, meaning people doing what you're doing. That's where volume comes from, okay? When you talk about, you know, creating a culture of volume, I mean, I'll tell you a story. There was a coach up in Seattle, and I met with her. This is a top coach that has great success. She works hard. You know, she's really into fitness, has a great transformation. And what happened is she and I met, and she said, Doug, I've got 2 goals. I'm currently a 7-star. I want to get to 15. But I'm also currently making, I think at the time she was making like $2,500 to $3,000 a week. And she wanted to get to $5,000 a week, so she made $20,000 a month. That was her goal. And I said, okay, so you got these 2 goals. One is to get to 15-star, and the other is to get to $20,000 a month. And I said, okay, great. You know, we mapped it out. We drew her organization. We said, okay, if we build to 15-star, we should be able to drive the volume enough to be able to get your income goal to follow. What happened is we met, like that was like in January. I didn't see her till like July at Summit. We get there, we're talking at Summit, and we're just kind of, just chatting really. And I said, oh, by the way, how are you with your goal? I mean, I saw your rank goal. I mean, we wanted to get you to 15 star. And she was just like, Doug, I know. I haven't rank advanced at all. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm still a 7 star. I'm like, don't be sorry to me. I mean, the beauty of Beachbody is these are your guys' goals. They're not mine. And so she said, yeah, I'm still a 7 star. And, you know, I just got to work with more people. I've got to keep recruiting. I've got to do all the things. And what was interesting is I then said, well, wait a minute. You had another goal to increase your income from whatever it was to 5,000 a week to 20,000 a month, whatever that was. And she said, that's interesting. And I said, why? She goes, because Doug, look. And we looked it up in her back office, and she was making more than 20,000 a month. The learning was, and what had happened is she had not built any more personally sponsored diamonds because she had not rank advanced. But the 7 diamonds that were in her organization that she had been working with, that she had been, you know, spending time with while she continued to recruit, well, they had started advancing to 1 star to 2 star to 3 star to 4 star. And so the learning was, as you want volume and you want to drive income within your organization, volume comes from coaches buying and selling and customers buying. So when you understand that volume is driven through the organization through that, what you learn is that star diamonds, personally sponsored or not personally sponsored, is what really brings volume into the organization. This coach's income had increased because coaches were advancing from diamond to 1 to 2 to 3 star, which was driving volume within what we call her weak leg, and therefore her income continued to increase, even though her rank had not followed suit along lines. Does that make sense to everybody? So what you learn is that diamonds equal rank, star diamonds equal pay, right? If you build star diamonds within your organization, it drives more volume. Now, I want to bring into this conversation the road to elite. And the reason I'm going to bring it in, so some of you have been around a while. I don't know how long all of you have been coaches. We used to have a thing called the leadership ladder. And then we have, so you had the leadership ladder, and then we had the elite program. Well, this year's the first time ever. What we did is we took the elite program and we took the leadership ladder and just really slid it right into the elite program. So we've taken the leadership ladder is gone, and it's now part of elite, and we call it the road to elite. Why is that important? It's important because you as coaches that are building coaches that are looking to build this business this year, we'll say goals 2019. If you want to be an elite coach this year, you're going to say, hey, here I am at the beginning of the year, and I want to get to elite. Elite's my goal. I got to get to 5 star. I've got to earn 105 elite points. I've got to build at least 2 new personally sponsored diamonds. Like, I got to get here. What we did is we said, all right, that's awesome. And every year we have coaches that set that goal. But here's what happens. Every year we have coaches that go from January to about June, and then they say, yeah, I'm not going to make elite. Like, my numbers aren't high enough. I'm not going to be able to do it. So they say, yeah, next year I'll go for it. And then they kind of tail off. We're not going to do that anymore. Every coach in the entire network started this year at the beginning of the road to elite, trying to get to elite, and you're all on your path to team builder, okay? Well, why is that important? Well, because I don't care if you're Elizabeth Hartkey or Melanie Mitro or Susie Smith who signed up yesterday. Like, your goal is, as a building coach, is I'm going to get to team builder. What is a team builder? A team builder is a diamond coach. I should pull it up so I don't misspeak. Right here. I won't do the whole road to elite training, but I should do this. I'll share my screen so you can see it. I just got to figure out which screen to share. Okay, and show desktop 3. Because I want you guys to understand this. Boom. All right, you guys see that okay? This is the road to elite. Every coach in the entire network started this year trying to meet these 4 requirements to become a team builder. Okay, you're trying to get to diamond. But let's say you're a 10-star. It doesn't matter what your rank is. You have to hold diamonds for 6 consecutive weeks in order to get a check mark in your back office saying you've met that requirement. The next thing is you got to earn 25 leadership points. Well, the way you earn leadership points, there's 3 categories that essentially are tracked through you personally hitting Success Club, you signing coaches and selling to customers, and retaining your coaches, and you getting your personally sponsored coaches into productivity and getting them into Success Club activity. That's literally how you earn elite points, or leadership points as we call them. The third requirement to be a team builder, you have to build 1 new emerald this year. And that emerald has to hold 6 consecutive weeks. And then you've got to get this 1,000 TV on your weak leg, okay? Now that 1,000, just so you know, is over the course of 5 weeks. So this is not a new, this is the piece that we pulled out of the leadership ladder, because what we want you to understand is that 1,000 volume. What this means is you're now a diamond that's got weak leg volume of at least 200 a week, because this 1,000 is a cumulative 5-week total, okay? Meaning you're averaging somewhere around 200. That means that a diamond, you'd be cycling 2 times, which means that your check is $50 a week or thereabouts, okay? Okay, once I'm a team builder, we're actually going to send out you a crystal trophy that's a little square block that says Team Builder 2019 on it. And those are actually starting to ship, I believe, this week. You're now on the road to elite. You're a team builder. Now you're headed to team leader. Team leader, 1-star diamond, held 6 consecutive weeks, 50 leadership points. Let's be clear, it's not 50 more, it's 25 more, 50 total. You've got to build 2 new emeralds or 1 new personally sponsored diamond to be a team leader. Now your week leg volume has to be 2,500, meaning average weekly is 500, or over the course of 5 weeks, a total of 2,500. That's how you're going to become a team leader. At team leader, you get a second piece of the trophy. The trophy builds. You also get a backpack that goes along with that. That's the team leader recognition that you get. Okay, you're a 1-star diamond. You got 2,500 week leg volume. Again, hopefully every week, that's 500 a week average. You're cycling 5 times because it's your weak leg, average 500 volume. Now you're making $100 a week. So we're trying to stair-step you into this as this thing progresses. Now you're headed for Premier, 2-star diamond, 75 leadership points, 1 new diamond you have to create, 5,000 TV over 5 weeks, 1,000 a week. You're cycling 10 times, $200 a week. Anyway, you can see how this road to elite works. Guys, if you're going to focus on building a culture of volume, the reason I present to you the road to elite when I talk about volume is because you guys, as builders, want to be hitting these milestones, but you also want to teach your team the same. Because if I can get your coaches going to team builder, the good news for you is they're building weak leg volume, which is building volume for you, right? This whole thing is stacking the volume and the activity into the program so that we're driving the activity that then drives volume, which then drives the compensation plan. I mean, I really want you to understand that the way Beachbody's system works is, you know, we have this compensation plan that I talked about, and then we have this recognition plan. Everything within the recognition plan, including the road to elite, is leveraged to drive the compensation plan so coaches make more income. Okay? Now, yes, you've got to do the work. Yes, you've got to do the activities that will help drive the volume creation, but all of that is built in order to drive volume within your organizations. Okay? Premier, I said 2-star, 75 points, 1 new diamond, 5,000. Again, it's not 75 more points. It's 25 more to get to 75. Okay, then you go on to be elite. You got to be a 5-star, 105, 2 diamonds, 5,000 TV on your weak leg. I just wanted to show that because when you talk about the compensation plan aligned with the recognition plan, and then you understand Road to Elite's brand new. We've never had it before. It's new this year. And I will tell you that as a building coach, we're now headed towards, so this year what happened is really December, November, we kind of rolled out Road to Elite. January, we talked about it a little bit. And then it's kind of gone quiet. And the reason it went quiet is because coaches are building and the data is accumulating to where this hasn't really mattered. It's going to start to really become way more important as we get deeper into the year. And again, as your coaches and you guys who say, oh, here I am at the first, I want to get to elite. Well, now I hope what you're saying is I got to get to team builder. Got to get to team builder. Oh, look, I got a check mark for team leader. Man, I can get to team leader if I can get my diamond. Anyway, so now you're starting to understand the activities of building the business while you're looking at the road to elite. And hopefully you'll have coaches on your team that are like, yay, I just got to team builder, or you're helping them get to team builder so that they're meeting those requirements. So the whole thing will start to make more sense as the year goes on. But when you talk about building volume and you talk about wanting star diamonds within your organization, we believe the road to elite is a way to get more coaches focused on advancing in the star diamond ranks, which for you guys would then drive volume within your organizations. Okay? So that's the comp plan. That's how you drive volume. The road to elite, I believe, complements that. Volume is obviously, everything in the elite program with coaches hitting Success Club and coaches, helping their coaches hit Success Club. Every one of those things is in there to drive income through the compensation plan. And so I just want you to understand, I hope I haven't, confused anybody. I try to keep it really simple and help you understand kind of how all these things relate. Because when you look at the comp plan and then you look at the recognition plan, and then guess what we have down here? We have all the launches. Now we have, hey, Ultimate Portion Fix and Transform 20. All of those are going on down here on a monthly basis with all these really cool products and all this excitement. Well, guys, I hope that you're leveraging the launches to drive the recognition plan that drives the compensation plan. Like the whole thing is supposed to help coaches have the opportunity to drive through the compensation plan. So Elizabeth, if there's questions or if you guys want to, anything you guys want to talk about pertaining to that, what do you want to talk about?
Jess, do you want to unmute? You had a good question before we got started with Doug.
Yeah, Doug, I was just wondering, because I know you mentor a lot of coaches, what would you say in your experience has been some of the biggest mistakes or the most common mistakes that you see coaches make to maximize the compensation plan?
Honestly, I think the biggest mistake coaches make is what happens is you get excited as a new coach, okay? You understand Success Club, and so you start to get into Success Club activity. Okay, now you're recruiting 1 to 2, 3 coaches a month. You've got some good things going on, and then what happens is you get to Diamond, and you're like, whoo, I'm a Diamond, life's good. I think one of the biggest mistakes coaches make is when they get to Diamond, they go on what I'm going to call defense, and now they defend their diamond, okay? And what that looks like is I'm a diamond, life's good, I'm working with my team, and I'm helping them, and I'm going to lose somebody, hurry, replace her, woohoo, still a diamond. The difference is when you were in the activity of getting to diamond, you were on offense. You were doing all the things that you needed to do to recruit and mentor, and you were committed to a program, and you're in a challenge group, and you're running challenge groups. All the stuff was the focus. And then you got to Diamond, and something changes, which is your personal activity went away from the recruiting activity and got into this management mode, working with the team, spending time, training, and all the stuff. And you stopped the activity that got you to where you were going. And I would say that most coaches, not most, a lot of coaches, what happens is when they get off offense and they go on defense, they get stuck. And guys, we have coaches that get stuck at Diamond for 2, 3, 4 years. And I swear to you, all they're doing is defending their diamond. And if they would get back on offense and go right back to the activity. I had a coach say to me one time, Doug, I'm a new diamond. What advice would you give me? And I told her, I said, all right, here's your advice. Go buy a journal. She goes, why would I go buy a journal? I said, just go buy a journal. She says, okay, I'll go buy a journal. I said, what do you want me to write in the journal? I said, I want you to go write all the activities you did that got you to diamond. She goes, okay, I'll do it. I'll go write down everything I did to get to diamond. Perfect. Now what? I said, now when I come back to town in 6 months and you're still a freaking diamond, I'm going to tell you to go read your journal. Because go do what you did to get here. And guys, you know, Micah Folsom's training on hashtag do your crap. Like, it's right. All the stuff that's recruiting and challenge groups and inviting and social media and posting, all that stuff is the front end of the funnel. This is where you're out helping others and doing all the activities. What happens is when you get out of that activity and you get into, hey, I've got, you know, 4 girls on my team and they're really cool and I'm spending 2 hours a day with them and all this stuff, you lose all this and everything can stop. And you just need to understand that this is really important to stay at the first of the funnel.
Does anyone else have questions for Doug? So balancing that kind of phase 1, the hashtag do your crap stuff, with pouring into your people to help them advance. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because I know that one of the, you know, the key pieces that we're talking about is that duplication and getting the coaches on our team, or inspiring the coaches on our team, or training them, or however you want to put it, to start to be in that phase 1, but also advancing themselves and then teaching their people to advance. How do you keep that culture of advancement alive, staying in the trenches still? Like, just any tips on that?
I would answer that a couple of ways. I mean, for sure there's balance in this. And for sure, you know, you got to understand that leading by example is a true principle, meaning that what happens in some organizations is you're recruiting, you're bringing people into the team page, you build the team page, now you're working with your team and they're introducing people into the team page and you got all this excitement and momentum. And then what happens is you stop introducing people into the team page and they're still doing it, but you're not. And so what happens is you lose the energy that happens. Sorry, they don't see you doing it. And I'm sorry, but they are paying attention to what you're doing. And so you've got to know that you've got to stay in this first area. So I would tell you this too. So balance is important. You've got to learn to do both, but you just can't lose that front end. Credibility is a real thing. You rank advancing matters. Like you getting to 1-star and having your team go, man, you know, she's awesome. Kelly's my leader and I love Kelly and I'm going to work with Kelly. Like, that's all important. So you have to advance. But losing new people coming in and the energy that goes with that is tough. I would tell you this too. And you know, so think about it this way. When you sign coaches, this is a business where, you know, and I've looked at the data and what's interesting is we have coaches that sign, you know, 30 coaches before they find one builder. Then we have coaches in this network that sign 4 coaches and they find a builder. So for every 4 they sign, there's a builder in there. And some are like every 30 or 50 for that matter, and then there's a builder in there. I would tell you that the real average, or the data I've seen working with, you know, coaches, somewhere in 1 in 8, 1 in 10, you know, for every 8 to 10 coaches you bring into the network, someone's going to start hitting Success Club and doing the activities. Now, there are some caveats to that. If you're 1 in 50, I would say your presentation, something's messed up and we need to dial you in. You should be somewhere in the 1 in 8, 1 in 10. So for every 8 or 10 coaches you sign, there should be somebody in there that is building or, you know, working with you. With that said, you need to know that if you're signing 1 coach a month, that means you're going to find 1 builder every 10 months. Okay, so it's hard. Like when I've met with diamonds or lower ranking coaches and they say, yeah, I'm just not finding anybody. And I'm like, okay, how are you doing? Well, I mean, I'm signing 1 to 2 coaches a month. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Congratulations. Love it. But you just have to understand that patience is real. And if you're going to sign 1 a month, you're going to find 1 every 10 months, right? If you sign 2 a month, then technically you should find 1 every 5 months. If you sign 5 a month, find 1 every 2 months. If you sign 10 a month, then you should find 1 a month. Now, I'm not telling you to go sign 10 a month. I'm just telling you to sign 3 a month. Now you're finding 1 every 3 months. But at least you understand, you know, the activity and how important it is. Now, I've worked with the best of the best that spend a lot of time with their teams. These coaches that sign, 4 or 6 and find a builder in that, there's a lot of relationship building in there. I would tell you that I just met with, so Carl did a one-on-one with a coach named Haley Christian. A lot of you know who Haley is. Haley, her business is exploding right now, and there's some real interesting things going on in there. And it's this idea, number one, Carl's like, man, simplicity matters. You gotta keep this business simple. You also have to understand that the relationship you build with your coaches is very important, okay? And so Haley is doing something different. I talk to coaches all the time that I say, man, you've got new coaches hitting Success Club. Awesome. How often do you talk to them? Oh, I talked to her yesterday. Okay, wait. What does that mean you talked to her yesterday? Oh, we were messaging back and forth. I'm like, hey, you didn't talk to her. You messaged with her. Like actually getting on a Zoom or on a phone call with your people. Haley Christian just started a deal with her. She started it like 4 months ago, 5 months ago, first of the year, where she is saying to her team, hey, you actively, consistently post on Instagram, and she's talking posts and stories. You do that, 7 days a week, and then, you keep trying. I'll do a one-on-one with you. She's currently doing 30 one-on-one Zoom calls a week with her coaches and her builders because the relationship is that important. So, as a leader, you got to be careful to embrace that word leader. And trust me, I understand recruiting and all this stuff kind of sucks compared to hanging out with your team and training and talking and, just being fun with everybody. Like I get that the activities are much harder, much more difficult on the front end, where the team stuff is fun. And it's easy to get lost in the fun, hanging out with the team stuff, when you got to stay in that phase 1 to keep the activity going. Personal opinion on where to put a business builder: adding to weak leg or maximizing to maximize cycles, or adding to strong leg that needs another diamond to get the required ratio of 3-2 coaches to hit 5. Okay, that's an easy question. The answer is it depends. And everybody's business is different. So the reason we don't stand in front of a Zoom like this and train placement is because every one of your business is a jigsaw puzzle, and I can't tell you. But the answer to that question to me is easy. I don't build a diamond on the strong leg till it's the last possible diamond I need. Like, I want all my volume on the leg that pays me money. Like if I had 10,000 on one leg and 1,000 on the other, man, everything goes on the 1,000. Even if I'm an emerald, for that matter, it's like I'm still cycling, and until emerald, if let's say I get to diamond, and now I'm trying to rank advance. If you're telling me I'm a diamond and I've got, and I start placing all my coaches on that weak leg, and I go get one diamond and maybe even another one, I might have 1 or 2 diamonds on the weak leg. And then I'm going to be as strategic as I can to be, because it's like, okay, I'm signing 4 coaches. I think Susie's a builder. I'm going to put Susie on the strong, and maybe, hopefully she's the one. Now, there's 2 ways to build. One is to recruit, and one is your time. If you've got any coaches on your strong leg that are building or potential, that's where your time goes. Your recruiting should always go towards the weak leg. Your time can go towards the strong because they're already there. That's not going to change. So go help them, mentor them, and help them advance. So that's a given. Anybody that's on that leg that has potential, they're your best friends, and you should absolutely help them. Your weak leg, that's where your placement happens. And the decision of when to place on the strong, the problem is, I can't tell you who's going to build. I don't know. And so it's a gamble no matter what you do. The thing I think you have to do is, if you do have a strong leg, dude, it's a blessing. Take it and leverage it, but don't. Anyway, it just depends. Trust me, there's coaches in the network that teach all kinds of philosophies on placement. And I've heard, I swear, all of them. And I would tell you that most of them are right, and they're all different. Sometimes coaches will say, do I put my spouse on a weak leg or do I put my spouse on a strong leg? Well, if you're Brigida Linford, your spouse goes on the weak leg. If you're Chris Reed, it goes on the strong leg. And are they wrong? Nope, they're both right. Why? Well, because if I build it on my weak leg, well, then I can come zipper it down into my second business center and I can get paid multiple times on a weak leg and it pays. What Chris Reed believes is I'm going to place my spouse on a strong leg because then I need diamonds over there for me to get to 5-star. I'm just going to place them on the inside leg of my spouse, and now I'm still getting paid on the volume that's being generated by the diamonds I'm recruiting. Which way's right? I don't know. It depends on how your business goes after that.
Any other questions for Doug? Is this stuff like helpful? Because to me, I even having heard it many times before, every time I hear it, it's still helpful to me. Mary, did you have a question? I think I saw you raise your hand. Go ahead and unmute.
Hey, I was typing it in the comments, but excuse me, I have kids that are on spring break too. I have a question because I'm currently a diamond and my direct upline is not currently a business builder, so I'm not getting any of that volume. My weak and strong leg keep flip-flopping every single week, so I'm not sure as to if I'm building, do I just keep them equal?
So the answer, I get asked that all, well, the question is it better to have balanced legs or a weak leg and a strong leg? The answer, in my opinion, is it's always better to be balanced, but the goal is to be weak leg strong. Now let me justify that. I want to be balanced because if I'm balanced, I can place on either leg. But my goal is to sign Elizabeth Hartkey on my right leg and chase her the rest of my life, right? I mean, I want to sign somebody that's way better than me that just blows it up, and then I go chase her. So I have to recruit either way. So when you think of that volume, and I have, you know, if I have me and I have equal or balanced volume on each side, yeah, that just gives me the freedom to place, hey, I've got a coach over here. She might go diamond. Well, then I'm going to place over here so I can go 2-star. Because if she goes diamond, I go 1. Well, I'm going to just start placing over here so I can go 2. And, you know, and I'm just kind of playing the game. And it's like, if I place a few on my left and now 2 or 3 of them are going to go diamond, awesome. Well, I'm just going to go place over here to counterbalance the volume and counterbalance the leadership. So it's a function of, you want to stay balanced for as long as you possibly can, but you're hoping to not be balanced. I mean, you would love for the thing to blow up on one leg and then you'll figure it out. But so anyway, so yeah, balanced is awesome. And don't ever, so on the road to elite stuff, the weak leg, let me make sure we're clear on how that's calculated. The computer literally goes in this week and says, which leg's weak? Oh, left. Oh, left. There's 200 volume on the left leg. Okay, that's the weak. And then the next week, it's like, oh, that's 400. Now this one's 250. Oh, okay, the right's now weak. Okay, let's grab the 250. So when it calculates your weak leg volume on road to elite, it just depends on which leg was weak that week. So it's paying attention. So it's not like, oh, it's the inside leg is always, nope, that's not it. Whichever leg has the lower volume is what road to elite is calculated as the weak leg. The other thing, and it doesn't really matter, well, it kind of does. Just to make sure you understand, because this was comp plan training, kind of 101 on this call. So let me write a note really quick. 300. Okay. Cycles. And calculate. Sorry, I just want to make sure I don't forget. 2 things. The first one is the computers cycle every day. Okay? Now, why does that matter? If I have 1001 volume on my left and I have 1000 on my right, well, this is the strong leg and this is the weak leg. And if I said to you, how many times do you cycle? A lot of you would answer, well, you cycle 5 times. So it's half of whatever the strong is. So you're going to cycle 5 times. So it'll take 500 out of the weak and the 1000 in the strong. And now I cycled 5 times. That's incorrect. The right answer is I'm actually going to cycle 6 times. And the reason is because the computer is going to take the 1001 versus the 1000. It's going to minus 200 out of the 1001 and take that to 801. It's going to minus 100 out of the weak and take it to 900. Well, I just flipped. Now my strong is the other side. So the computer is actually going to eat all the volume that it can. It doesn't just say, oh, half of that, that's how many you cycle. That's the one point. The second point I want to make to you if you ever wanted to say, Doug, I just want to make $250 a week. That's my goal. $250 a week. I want to make $1,000 a month as a Beachbody coach. I hope you know all you can do is you could take 250, divide it by 18 cycles, right? And that gives me 13.8, okay? So essentially 14 cycles would get you $250 a week. Well, 14 cycles, you could say, is 1,400 week leg volume, 2,800 strong. Or you could take 14 and times it by 300 and say it's 4,200 cumulative balanced volume. Now you're all going, what does that mean? All it means is if I have 4,200 total volume I need to get to, I just can't be 200, 4,000 because I only cycle 2 times. But I could be 2,100, 2,100, and then the computer would run it as many times and I would cycle 14 times. And I know you'll have to watch that recording, but just understand that you can calculate how much money you want to make at any time based upon just take the dollar amount you want to make, divide it by 18. That'll give you the number of cycles, times that by 300. That'll give you a total, and then divide it evenly, and that'll kind of give you some direction of where you need to be to get to that level of income. Clear as mud. I don't know who I lost. I know I lost some of you.
No, it makes sense, and we can put it in slow-mo.
There you go.
Recording. No, that's really helpful because I have people ask that all the time. We used to have that like little spreadsheet or whatever where you could like type it in. It would do
like
that.
A volume calculator. Yep.
Yeah. And I noticed you have. I think that's what's on your desk. Is it that Road to Elite?
Yeah. No, on the Superstar thread.
I just
got that. I was like, this is pretty cool. So
yeah, I just shared that with you guys in the Star Diamond page. So make sure you print that out and then you can use that for your coaches too. You know, that's a big thing that I started doing a few years back was things like, you know, let's say I was going for Diamond in a different business center. I'd print out that tracker for me. Well, I started printing out that tracker for my coaches so that I could be very much in their goal with them. And you can do the same thing for the Road to Elite for them too, not just Diamond trackers.
So let's do this. Mackenzie, what math are you doing? Like what number are you trying to calculate?
So if I wanted to make 1,000 a week in cycles, so that would be 55 cycles a week, and then that would be 16,666 in cumulative. Did I do that right?
Yeah, I just either round up or round down. So 16,500 in volume. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's approximately 8,000 on each side. Right? So it gives you directional. I mean, you can do it exact, but if you were somewhere, but think about it. If I need to be 16,000 volume and balanced, I could be 10,000, 6,000. I could be 8,000, 8,000. I could be 9,000, whatever's left, 7,000, like any one of those. I just can't be 1,000, 15,000 because that's out of balance. As long as they're balanced, then you're going to make the 1,000 a week. So when you look at your own business, if you have a strong leg, weak leg, well, then it's whatever your weak leg is going to allow you to cycle. But if you have balanced legs, then you just add them together and divide by 300. It'll tell you how many cycles you're getting. Cool.
Thank you.
Yep. Well, and you can also pay attention to, here's the other thing. When I do a one-on-one with someone like Elizabeth, what I do is I say, Elizabeth, let's talk about business centers that pay your household income. So she's got her spouse, she's got her second, her third or fourth, like all the way down. And so we actually will calculate the income per business center all the way down. And then you start to pay attention to volume on the left side of CBC 5, because that'll drive income to 5 and to 4 and to 3 and to her spouse. And like it all kind of stacks when you start to get into this. So what's really cool about Beachbody's comp plan is, guys, it's checkers when you start. You're playing checkers right now. Do not overcomplicate it, right? I'm giving you the math because that's what this call's about. But understand that as you advance in the business, it becomes chess and it gets more complicated. But do not overcomplicate it today, okay? Just stay in checkers. You're just playing checkers. Left side, right side, Mary Page, keep it balanced. You just want to keep placing on both legs and keep things moving forward. So your question is, but how does personal volume play into any of this, or does it not at all? Well, PV is your purchase requirement. Like PV is how we generate commissions, right? But TV is where we calculate the entire volume that's structured underneath everything. Other questions?
Anyone else? Doug, this was incredibly helpful, and I'm very glad I remembered to record, because I would have been killed if I didn't.
For sure.
Any other questions or anything before we set Doug free, and then we rope him back in at the end of the month? So we're going to have Doug again on our Monday night team call, where we're going to open this up to the downline. So I wanted you guys to get your hands on this first, to be able to rewatch the recording, have a really good understanding of it, and be talking about this in your teams and kind of implementing some of this stuff, focusing on the road to elite between now and then, so that when we bring this to the downline, like, we're already in motion, we have that momentum, and like Doug said, you know, leading by example, that's the principle we want to be running with here. So
well, we'll try. I mean, when we talk to a bigger group, you know, we'll do the comp plan stuff, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll really try to keep it way more simple. Like, I won't get into, you know, you guys as leaders, I mean, I hope you're all, I mean, if you're building this business, team builder ought to be almost in the bag, or, I mean, you ought to be close to team builder through the first quarter, because if we're headed towards elite, then, you know, hey, I'm trying to get to 105. I need 25 in the first quarter. Understanding that it does not grow evenly over the course of the year. The elite program, if you don't know, takes off at the end of the year, because volume is a calculator and it's cumulative, meaning it's compounding every month. And I just want to be clear, if you're sitting on this call and your elite points are anywhere 15 or higher, great job. You're on track. Keep going. If you're at 3, you know, you got work to do. If you're at 35, fantastic. Like, you're trying to weigh yourself against road to elite to understand. But you guys as leaders, dude, we should be on our way to team builder, or, you know, somewhere in there, and then headed to team leader, if not premier and elite. I mean, anyway, it's all a function of what are you doing. But I want you to understand, when you look at the back office, you've got this little chart in there that's you, and there's little check marks based on what requirements you've met at every level in the road to elite. So, for example, Elizabeth is paid above a 5-star, and she's held it for 6 weeks. So her rank requirement is just check, 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 check. She's got all that done. Her elite points may not be all the way done, but maybe she's got 53 points. So she's check, check. She's trying to get to 75. I don't know how many you have, Elizabeth. I'm just pulling numbers out. And you'll understand, if she builds a diamond, it'll check the first 3 boxes of leadership development. If she builds 2, it'll check them all. If she builds, anyway. So it's just understand that it's not just doing team builder and then just team leader. It's taking off. If you're sitting here as a 1-star and you've held 1-star 2 weeks, well, then your rank is going to be checked for team builder and team leader, but you might still be waiting for the points on whatever. So anyway, that's what that does for you, but it gives you that visual to be able to see where you're at on the road to elite.
Awesome. You're awesome, Doug. Thank you so much. This was spot on what we were looking for and needed.
Well, hopefully we didn't, you know, I saw some eyes glaze, so I was a little nervous there for a minute, but hopefully we're okay.
No one's brains exploded. We're good.
Okay.
All right, Doug. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I'll bounce. We'll see you guys.
See you guys.